Hey everyone, it's your boy Ricky here with Romero Cards. Thank you so much for being here today. Today I'm going to be making a card using some Simon Hurley's Lunar paste. Right now I'm just going to show you how these came out. I previously did them on a video where I spread them out, so I'm just showing you what they look like on white and black paper. Here is the later Gator. Prior to that was Clear Skies. Then we have Bee Sting, which is like so red, like ruby slippers, everything. Then we have traffic cone here, which is the orange that's on the black and the white. And as you can see, they're pretty similar, not too much different. And then lastly, we have slippery when wet, which is the goldish yellow color. And I love that on black. So today's card is actually inspired by the Atari. And if you're old enough to remember this card, you should be able to recognize it and why it pulled inspiration from Atari. So basically I'm going to use this die from MFT and I'm going to cut this out 3 times using Slippery When Wet, Traffic Cone, and Bee Sting. And what I'm going to do is just combine all these colors together to design my card. This card was actually pretty simple to come together. It wasn't that hard. I think maybe it took me about 20 minutes to make. Of course, I already did have the lunar paste already dried on the paper, so that did help. So basically now what I'm doing is trying to put the pieces together to see exactly how I want them to be on the card. And then here you can see that I'm going to be doing this kind of shape. And basically I have Bee Sting, I have Slippery When Wet, and then Traffic Cone all in a row there. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get this placed down onto some black cardstock because this is pretty much going to be an all black card. And you see here, I'm just trying to get everything lined up, making sure that everything fits. And yeah, you know, it's got to take a little time to do that. So now that I got all the pieces in place and I know exactly where I want them to be, I am going to be using some glue here and to go ahead and get that glued down onto this cardstock. I believe this is Barely Art glue, so pretty good glue. I like it. Love the needle on it. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get this placed down onto the middle of the card. And it really doesn't need to be in the middle per se because I end up cutting this down. So it really doesn't matter what it looks like because I'm cutting the edges off anyway. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get the other pieces added onto the card here. And I'm just going to use the glue and do it one by one. And I made sure that all these pieces all fit together so that they can, you know, look smooth and nice. So here we are. We have the last piece we're going to put on here. And there we go. I'm getting that placed onto the card. I want to make sure it's nice and even, make sure everything's going well here. And then I have that glued down, which is probably the easiest part of this whole card, honestly, is getting this down onto the cardstock. So now that we have that down, I'm going to go ahead and take the scissors here and I'm going to go ahead and cut down the sides of the card. This is super easy. It wasn't anything crazy. I just tried to cut under the shape a little bit so you can't see any additional black coming from the sides of the card. And I'm basically just going to place this on another black cardstock, which is a little crazy, but I wanted to add a little bit more dimension to this. So that's why I did that. So now you see here, I have the other piece of black cardstock, and I'm just going to cut this down so that it actually fits the front of the card that I already have here. And I just needed to trim off a little bit because it was a little bit bigger than it should have been to be on the card. And now that we have that cut out, we're going to go ahead and make sure that fits on here. And we're going to just test it out a little bit, make sure everything's working, everything fits. And we'll go ahead and get this black cardstock glued onto the card base. And then as you can see, I'm still using Barely Art glue here. We'll go ahead and get that all covered up in glue. We want to make sure that it sticks because it's going to have a heavy piece of paper on top of it. And we just want to make sure everything's going to go cool with it because we don't want a wonky card and we don't want a card with a bunch of, you know, just falling off in the mail and all that good stuff. So now what I'm going to do is going to take this shape, the Atari shape is what I'm going to call it. I'm not for sure what it's called, but I'm going to back that with some 3M foam tape and we'll go ahead and remove the backing of that. so that we can go ahead and get this placed onto the card. Now, using 3M foam tape makes me a little nervous because if you don't stick it on right, there's a possibility that it won't come off. You have to rip it up and then start all over. I'm always a hot mess because I usually try to do liquid glue, but I was a big boy. I did it. I used 3M foam tape. Yay, I'm so proud of myself. All right, now we're going to do the sentiment, and we're going to use the sentiment step by MFT, and we are going to use the sentiment, be kind to you. You know, some people need cards to let them know you need to take care of yourself. You need to be nice to yourself. You know, do it. It's healthy. That's what we need to do. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go ahead and get this placed onto the MISTI. I'm just placing it on a square piece of white paper because I'm actually going to end up fussy cutting these out. And then I'm just going to use some Versamark ink here and then go ahead and get that stamped down onto the cardstock. And now that we have that stamped down, I'm going to go ahead and take the scissors and I'm going to fussy cut these out. And what I'll do is once I get these cut out, I'm actually going to take them and dip them in the VersaFine Clear ink so that the edges of the paper are also black. So there's no white showing along the sentiment. And you're going to see that here in a second once I get this cut out. Taking my good old sweet time here. I try not to speed up the video too much. You know, I try to keep it, you know, pretty slow so I can get through the talk through here. So now, as you can see, I'm clearing my desk. I'm surprised I left all this in, you guys. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get those dipped into the ink here so that you cannot see any of the white along the sides of the sentiments. And now that we have all those dipped in the black ink, now we're going to go ahead and get them placed onto the card. I'm going to use some 3M foam tape for these pieces of the sentiment, and we'll go ahead and place that on the back. And then basically what we're going to do is finish up with the sentiment on top of the card, and we're pretty much going to be done. Not too hard of a card. The reason I like this card is because it's pretty masculine, I believe, so you could give this to that masculine figure in your life, you know, to let them know, hey, take care of yourself, be nice to yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and get my reverse tweezers here. I want to make sure these are straight, so I'm just going to play along here and try to make sure that, you know, it's good, it's going to stay, it's all even, and I'm not going to look at it later and drive myself crazy. So as you can see here, I'm actually doing each one really slow because I want to make sure that everything sticks and everything is in order and everything is straight. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I also want to thank Simon Hurley and Ranger for sending out these products so that I could play with them. I really appreciate it. These are some spectacular pastes. You guys should definitely try them. I'm looking forward to more colors coming out because I'm pretty sure they will be. Really looking forward to a purple. So we will wait and see if Simon delivers the purple to us. So you guys take care of yourselves. Have a great week. Find me over on Instagram by searching for Bromero Cards. Like this video, thumbs up, leave a comment, talk with me down in the comments. I really love it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.